Meanwhile, there are words of warning today from a federal workers union about cuts to staffing at Social Security offices across the country, including in Maine.
The Social Security Administration had already said it is looking to slash 7,000 jobs at a time when more baby boomers are retiring and looking for benefits. One of the offices that could be targeted for complete closure, the union says, is the Presque Isle office, meaning the closest office for people in Aroostook County would be Bangor. News and Maine's Ryan Wooten has more on what the cuts could mean for everyone on Social Security.
What would your life look like for one day without Social Security?
If you don't know the answer to that question, Social Security Administration employee and union member Christine Lazat wants you to hear about some of the people she serves every day.
It is the preemie babies, who most people don't realize that if a baby is born prematurely, while they're in the hospital, they can receive Social Security benefits, which also make them eligible for Medicaid benefits. It is the child who's in elementary school whose parent just died, and now they receive survivor benefits so that they're not impoverished overnight. It is every aspect of your life is what I do. From when you're born to when you get married, you get to bring in that marriage certificate and sit with me and we get to celebrate for a minute, to when your husband of 50 years dies and I get to hold your hand and pass the tissues.
Unionized Social Security workers say DOGE plans to cut as much as 50% from Social Security administrative staff, which will likely delay payments to American people.
So if we don't have the staff, you just don't have the staff, things can't get processed.
Representatives from the Social Security Administration say they're reducing costs by removing redundant layers of management and reducing non-mission critical work with the overall goal to improve services for all Americans. But some recipients are screaming hands off Social Security.
If I did not have Social Security, I would have nothing.
Kathleen Davis goes by Kathy, unless she's mad.
They're not seeing people, they're seeing numbers. And they're not seeing, like, what happens to these people. He stood in front of the White House the other day and wanted us to buy Teslas. But he's also cut everybody's income. How can they buy the Tesla?
Kathy is 73. She's been retired since 2016, and she has several health issues, including lupus and diabetes. Her retirement account ran out years ago. Now she depends on slightly less than $2,000 per month that she receives from Social Security as her only source of income. She says the cuts that President Donald Trump's administration and Elon Musk are making show a disregard to federal workers and the millions of Americans who are just like her.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
It's their way or the highway. And I think that that's very dangerous politics. It's very damaging to this whole country. And I'm very saddened over it. And I'm very frightened. And I'm Kathleen over it.
In Hallowell, Ryan Wooten, News Center, Maine.
Meanwhile, there are words of warning to
giving all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kodash, and double honor to the men of Great Millstone that is out there on the highway and byway, pushing this truth day in and day out. Also pushing the truth over the worldwide internet. Reaching the elect to pull them out of a 2/3 state of mind so that we can be beamed up on the chair of salvation to live in the kingdom under King David and the supreme King Yahweh Shai, which he has the title of command and authority and rulership over heaven and earth. Those titles were given to Yahweh Shai by his father Yahweh. Also, I'm not a member of GMS, but I believe GMS has the 100% truth of the Bible. To the Akim and Akkad, which are the men and women that are listening and learn, continue to pray for more faith, repent, fast, and keep the laws and commandments to the best of your ability. As it states in John 14:15, if ye love me, keep my commandment. Also, Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandment, for this is the whole duty of man. You just heard that they are slowly, shutting down Social Security. They are pretty much, they shutting down a certain Social Security Administration building. They trying to stop this money from leaving their hand, going into the young and the old. and tell you, let's go into the scriptures. Give me 1 second. Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the ends of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. So this man here, even though is talking about, Esau not showing favor to the old and young of Israel, hell, to his own people. This man here, he is diabolical. He listen. If he can end the world just alone, to keep somebody else from running it, he'll do it. This man here, he's for self. And if he don't have his way, he can be self-destructive. And it's a scripture in the Bible where, I think it was, it might be in Deuteronomy where if you had let's say a field with crops on it, and you put a leave like 10%, on the outskirts of the field for the widow and the homeless, the fatherless children, people that that didn't have a lot, they would go and they'll pick the fruits, the crop or whatever, to have something to eat. This man here, he will not leave not one crop, not one fruit. You have to get it from him. You got to buy it from him. But this Social Security thing, this is going to hurt a lot of people. The benefit for Social Security. And Shalaki, I just woke up. I'm trying to go ahead and do me a lesson before I get out of here. Social Security benefit provide income to individual upon retirement, disability, or death, and are based on individual earning history, with higher earning leading to higher benefits. Here's a more detailed explanation. Types of benefit. Retirement benefit paid to individuals who retire with the amount depending on when they start receiving benefits and their earning history. A lot of these men and women that are baby boomers, listen, Esau, he's finna cut this stuff off. A lot of people are going to suffer. The Bible did say there's going to be a lot of death in the street. When you cut someone money off, it's almost like you end their life. Almost like you MURDER them. You M them. I say that because it's a defense. Money is a defense. Money helps our people with the necessity that they need, food, medicine, lights. You might have a grandparent that need their oxygen machine running, and the only way that they can keep their lights on is through their social security benefits. But Esau, he don't give a damn. He's still sticking by with what he want. He want to eliminate over 500 million people on this planet. The God Stone. Let me see the God Stones. Let me read that. Define the guide stones. Hold on. Well, guide stone you're likely referring to are the Georgia guide stone. See, it had on there that they wanted to eliminate. Well, pretty much they just going to show when it was torn down, I believe. I don't think they're gonna go in depth with it because Esau he trying to cover up a whole lot of stuff. So let's continue with this. Disability benefits provide to those who can no longer work due to qualifying disability, and there's a lot of kids and grown adults that had issues ever since they was a baby with autism, Down syndrome, just all types of issues, and they have been receiving, as we used to say, crazy check, but receiving those benefits, you're going to have a lot of uproar in the street. This is part of his crafty counseling. And Esau, he sit back and he go into his think tank of how can he destroy this world, destroy this planet. I'm telling you, this is truly the devil. Esau, Edom, you are truly, truly the devil that the Bible speaks of. You are the borderline of wickedness. Malachi 1:3. And you are the wicked that is running this earth. Job 9:24. And you will get paid for all your wrongdoing. Because this right here, you're hurting the elderly that work 40, 50 years to get their retirement. You pulling the retirement from them. Disability people that have been, that have learning issues, like I said, autism, Down syndrome, people that dyslexia, I can't pronounce dyslexia or whatever, and they have issues. It's sad. So let's go down here. The next one, the third one, survival benefit, monthly payments to eligible family members of deceased individual who work and pay Social Security taxes. So survival benefit children, their mom and their dad work for, let's say, a federal government or whatever, and they happen to pass on. Well, that money that's left behind, their Social Security benefit, survival benefit, is go to the wife or go to the child, to help them get on their feet. Again, Esau, he don't care anything about the old. He don't care anything about the disability. He don't care anything about young children or wives or husbands that work for the federal government or state or whatever, to have some money left over for them to move on. Supplemental Insurance Income, SSI, provide income to those with limited resource and a disability, blindness, or who are age 65 and older. So, people, wheelchair bound, like I said, blindness, the deaf, people with no arms, no legs. I'm just throwing out some, people that really do need the help. You're not going to get it. This is the downfall of Babylon. And Esau, he see it and he knows it. He know that he has a short time. And he tried to push this MOTB to get people such as people that have social, that have these social security issues. They're about to have some big issues, and a lot of these people that have these supplemental security, supplemental security income, survival benefit, disability benefit, retirement benefit. Esau is banking on them to take that chip. It's all set up and planned for them to bow down back to the government instead of turning to the Lord. What's that, Isaiah 30 and 31? A lot of these people that's on these social security benefits, they're going to run to Egypt for help. They're going to lean on the strength of the Pharaoh, which is today President, Trump. Trump. That's our president, and he's right along with Elon Musk. You don't hear anything about the vice president. You hear Trump and Elon Musk. Or they say Eli Musty. That's what you hear. So this is all a craftily plan, to get the weak, because they know they got the weak in their hand, because the weak have been leaning on these benefits. Even a lot of our people that's on welfare, single parent women that's on welfare, you're going to lean quickly when all this stuff is shut down, and you want to give, and they're going to persuade you, well, in order to get back to normal, you got to take this MOTB. And a lot of our women and men and children, that large 2/3, which is going to be 66% or 67% of our people that's going to be destroyed. Number one, lack of understanding. Number two, mainly, really number one, they shrug their shoulder. They twist and they turn. They mark and they scar. Galatians 6 and 7, the Lord is not marked. And every man, just paraphrase, everything you say is going to be used against you. As they say, used against you in the court of law. The Heavenly Father, He got it written all the way down, so that He can go ahead and put that swift, judgment on you. So Esau, like I said, he got a real craftily plan that he's going to pull the rug off a lot of people, because a lot of people, right now they still have that that entertainment, what's coming on tonight on what's the TV station on Netflix or what what's the TV show that's out now by 50 Cent, Raising Cane. You know, everybody focuses on that. The NBA with LeBron and his son and Stephen A. Smith. You know, that little, you know, altercation. Well, it really wasn't no altercation, but it was, you know. But anyway, you know, you can look that up. I don't have time for that right now. But people are more in tune of the world instead of in tune of the end times. Let's see what else. Maximum benefits. The maximum monthly security payment for a retired worker in 2024 is $3,822, rising to $4,018 in 2025. But when you listen to their video, they have cut Kathy, her benefit. I think they said she now only getting $2,000 a month. A lot of people can't live off that. $2,000 ain't nothing. It's like $1,000 a week. You know, for 2 weeks, $1,000 1 week, $1,000 the next week. Now you gotta go 2 weeks until you get your next paycheck. That $2,000 gonna be gone quicker than what you think. Cost of living adjustment. You got a lot of these elderly people, they on a fixed income. Boy, I'm telling you, this is a downfall when you start messing with people's money. You know, and it's just sad to see that it's starting with the elderly. They really get the elderly out the way first, or they do some type of test run, you know, to see how fast the elderly is going to, you know, get in line to take that MOTB. You know, but we know that the MOTB, if you take it, that's, you know, destruction. You're going to drink. Well, let's go to it. Revelation 14, and we'll start at, since I said drink, at 10. We start at 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. See, the strong believers that have the faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not going to take that. But the weak, the elderly, right along with the young, you know, mom and daddy gone, you know, or, you know, the mother, her husband is deceased, and she got 3-4 kids to take care of, daddy gone. She looking at those big white eyes, them big brown eyes. I meant to say, you know, brown eyes. And they telling her she hungry. You know, her children telling her that she hungry, that they hungry. They want something to drink, whatever. And she gonna fold. And it's sad to say that most of our women, and I'm saying parents, but most of our women would choose to break the command of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, just to, keep their kids satisfied. You're not worthy of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai if you don't hate your kids, if you don't hate your husband or your wife, for Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. You got to set them to the side and do the will of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. It's hard for people to swallow that. Verse 10, here's what I was saying about, you're going to drink of the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai for taking it. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation. And that mixture is like, you go to a bar and they, add some type of mixture to it it won't be so strong or won't be so, bitter. No, you're gonna drink of that cup all the way bitter, all the way. It says here, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. See, a lot of our people, they're not taking this this truth wholeheartedly. So, this right here is going to be terrible for a lot of elderly
across the country,
people.
including
For a lot of elderly people, it's going to hurt them the most because they're not able to get around like the young folks. Because when it's time to get out there and live amongst the rocks, live amongst the trees out in the wilderness, and you on the run, a lot of old elderly people are going to be unalive in their house because they can't move around, they can't get out, or in a hospital, retirement home. Because without their Social Security, you end their lifeline. A lot of elderly folks with Social Security, that's their lifeline. Their financial lifeline is about to be uprooted and did away with. So I'm going to end it right there. Hopefully this will edify. See you on the next lesson. Shalom.